If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
All right, and we're back. I don't know why we spent that much money. Could have predicted how it goes. Let's see what Donald Trump is. Is he still talking about oil?
Got you the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, bigger than the Reagan cuts, bigger than any.
By the way, if you're watching right now on wherever you are, hit the Rumble button. You can hit share. You can hit like, whatever it is, wherever you are right now. Hit that. You're good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And China paid a big price. And let me tell you something. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes from China. But prior to COVID coming in, and then I rebuilt the economy again, a second time. But we had, prior to COVID coming in as from China, from Wuhan, which I said it came from Wuhan. Everybody said, oh, you're wrong about that. You're wrong. It came from Wuhan. I said it right from day one. So wrong. We had the greatest economy in the world. Here's the story. They made energy so high, and energy is all invasive. It is massive as an industry and as a cost. It lifted everything. If you made donuts, no matter what you did.
She might as well not be there.
We had inflation, the likes of which I guess
you know who this pisses off? AOC. We actually have a quote from her, a tweet. CNN should be ashamed of themselves. They have lost total control of this town hall to be again manipulated into platforming election disinformation, defenses of January 6th, and a public attack on a sexual abuse victim. This audience is cheering him on and laughing at the host.
Oh, yeah, but when she tries to tweet, she sees two screens.
Well, that's fair.
Weeks away from defaulting on its debt. That could mean millions of jobs lost, people not getting their Social Security payments. People believe it would put
This
the
is
US
why Trump will win.
economy into a recession.
There could be millions of jobs lost. People right now are struggling, Collins. People right now, they are so disconnected from reality. People right now can't afford eggs. They can't afford beef. People right now, they have their jobs available, but they're shitty jobs because half of the economy, you don't need to fact check that, it's not actually half, but the point is the economy, as we knew it, was fundamentally changed. Restaurants, entertainment venues. These people have lived it, and CNN, this is why you just hit an all-time month low in the single 100,000 range. I think it was 132,000 was your peak primetime viewership last month because you don't acknowledge what people are living.
Because they don't know what people are living.
Yeah.
No, I think some of them don't. I think some of them know, and they're trying to re-engineer it anyway. They're trying to lie anyway. I think some of them are right. Maybe Harry Forearm Girl because she's not dyed in the wool, but she's just giving marching orders. Come on. She's a patsy in a white pantsuit for the higher-ups.
Yep.
Yeah.
They came in, Schumer came in with Nancy
not
Pelosi,
bad.
and they were using, we'll violate it, we'll do whatever. They talked a whole lot different than they do right now. I say to the Republicans out there, congressmen, senators, if they don't give you massive cuts, you're going to have to do a default. And I don't believe they're going to do a default because I think the Democrats will absolutely cave because you don't want to have that happen. But it's better than what we're doing right now. Because we're spending money like drunken sailors.
So just to be clear, Mr. President, you think the U.S. should default if the White House does not agree to the spending cuts Republicans are demanding?
You might as well do it now because you'll do it later.
He's right.
We have to save.
He's absolutely right.
Eventually, you have to make the cut.
By the way, just to be clear, this is something that CNN was having. They were hosting this today with Biden. He just went out and lied. Biden just, I believe, yesterday, and then they kept running it today on a loop. He said that he's cut the deficit by $1.7 trillion. And what he tried to do is he tried to parlay that into the debt. Look, the debt is the cumulative, which is over $30 trillion right now. The deficit means your profits and losses, basically, at an annual basis, right? So it's the year, the spending differential. $3 trillion the national debt has increased since Biden took office, just to be clear.
30 trillion.
Comparing his 2022 deficit to Donald Trump's 2020 deficit, it was $1.3 trillion for Biden. Donald Trump was $3.3 trillion. Both presidents, by the way, spent more than they brought in. That's a problem that he should address. But again, a big part of it was $900 billion was a COVID bill when Donald Trump. They're always going to try and point to his last year, right, to his last portion of his presidency, because that was something that they could engineer under the basis of a pandemic. Joe Biden is spending more money. Just to be clear, Joe Biden's plan increases spending, will increase the debt. They don't want to address that, so they say, oh, Joe Biden hasn't answered on cuts. He answers to increase taxes. Watch him answer the question.
Always.
He never actually answers as to what he would cut. We don't have a tax problem. You can say, even if you think we do, we certainly have a spending problem.
Right.
And if I win,
$1 trillion is 1,000 billion.
Yeah, and if you add the reparations they want in California, it would be $430-something trillion.
Just for California.
Just for California. They'd be paid for by blacks from Uganda.
Racism is expensive.
Hey, it's Alex Keaton Lookalike Foundation.
Hi, thank you for coming. This is a bit of a pivot, but with gun violence and mass shootings in the news cycle recently, I'm worried that state governments and the federal government are going to act to repress gun rights. Under your administration, you instructed the Department of Justice and the ATF to ban bump stocks. If elected president again, how would you act not only to defend our Second Amendment rights, but to restore rights
That's a good
that have been
question,
taken from
and
us,
a question that a lot of Second Amendment activists would want to ask Donald Trump. He screwed up on that one. Let's see his answer.
stabilizing braces?
Yeah, as you know, the bump stocks are actually a very unimportant thing. And NRA, I went with them, and they said it doesn't mean anything. They're actually, all they do is teach you how to shoot very inaccurately. So we did that.
That's what I
There's
say.
been nobody
It's not a
that's
good answer,
protected.
though.
No
It's not
bump
an answer
stocks
on
in
the
my
Second
team.
Amendment. It's not a good answer, though, Donald Trump. You need a better answer on
Not
that.
easy to do. But we have a very big mental health problem in this country.
Okay.
And again,
The broad in the
it's not
pants
gun
suit knows. Zoloft, or is it Paxil?
And we have to protect our Second Amendment. We have to protect
The
it.
elite is
You
mushrooms.
dealt with a lot of mass shootings when you were in office this
saddened.
year. There have already been more than 200 mass shootings
Yeah.
in 2023. If you are reelected, are there any new gun restrictions that you would sign into law?
I would do numerous things. For instance, schools, we would harden, very much harden. And I'm a very believer. I believe in teachers. I love teachers. I think they're incredible. And they love the children, not quite like the parents, but they love the children in many cases almost as much. Many of these teachers are soldiers, ex-policemen. They're people that really understand weapons. And you don't need 5% of the teachers would be more than you could ever have if you're going to hire security guards. But in addition to that, have security guards. You have to harden your entrances. You have to make schools safe. And you can make other places safe. But it is a big mental health problem in this country more than anything else. And remember, we have 700 million guns. 700
By the way,
million.
this is kind of remedial for you. I think we're breaking. We have some new, a new Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah. Those did
bombshell.
come in.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Let me see here. What is do we know what the Tucker? Do you have it, Hootie? The latest Tucker bombshell.
I do.
This is breaking. This is breaking right now on Twitter.
Subject: Tucker Carlson's disregard for workplace sanitization. A janitor said Mr. Tucker was tossing a ball of paper into the trash and he missed, and I could tell that he didn't intend to pick it up.
Okay, but
yeah,
that's what's on Twitter right now. It's the bomb. Is there anything else? Do we have? Is there anything else that we have on? All right, well, more on that. Hashtag Crider Town Hall, $10 off on Mug Club. Let's go back to Donald
Use
Trump.
your wrist when you throw.
Places also. All of those places are the worst and most dangerous places. So that's not the answer.
No new restrictions that you would sign if reelected, Mr. President. I want you to meet Julie Miles, a registered nurse from Merrimack. She's a Republican who
Notice
voted
that
for
she
you
tries to
in
go.
2020.
Let me try and rebut you before I go to the question from the person who
Appreciate you
matters.
answering this question this evening. How do you plan to appeal to women voters in New Hampshire who are concerned about the Dobbs decision and how states may change their laws?
It's such a great question, and it was such a great victory, and people are starting to understand it now. You know that they wanted to bring it back to the states, but that was probably the least important part of that victory. Getting rid of Roe v. Wade was an incredible thing for pro-life because it gave pro-life something to negotiate with. Pro-life had absolutely nothing being stuck in Roe v. Wade to negotiate with. And now what's happening, and I see it all over, deals are being made, deals are going to be made, and look, everybody that was president wanted to get rid and tried to get rid of Roe v. Wade.
You mean
for 50
Republicans?
years. Republicans. For 50 years. This has been going on. Actually, a couple of Democrats, too. But for 50 years.
Also, by the way, Caitlin, it doesn't affect you if you're not a whore. If you're not a whore, this doesn't concern you. You're concerned. She's going to look at her face.
Very
She's concerned.
concerned.
A whore, filthy whore. All right.
I believe in the exceptions. The life of the mother, raped, incest. Like Ronald Reagan believed in the exceptions. But I happen to believe that. I think it's frankly important to do that. But a lot of people are, against that. A relatively small number. But the way I look, I think it's very important to say this. I consider the other side to be radical because the other side, under Roe v. Wade and other things, the other side, they're radical because they will. Remember the debate with Hillary Clinton? I said, rip the baby out of the womb at the end of the 9th month. They will kill the baby in the 9th month. if you look at that crazy governor of Virginia from the former governor, where he said, no, the baby will be born, and then we'll decide essentially whether or not to execute the baby.
But, Mr. President, can we talk about what you would do if
Oh,
you
but
are
get away from this. Oh, my gosh.
The pro-life people that are out.
But if you are reelected and you're back in the Oval Office and you get legislation to your desk, would you sign a federal abortion ban into law?
No, maybe.
What I'll do is negotiate so that people are happy. But the fact that I was able, I'm so proud of it. We put 3 great justices on the Supreme Court. We have almost 300 federal judges on the Supreme Court.
So just to be clear.
Here's the lesson to anyone else who's going to throw their hat in the ring. Caitlin Collins doesn't matter. You're not talking to her. I've said this many times with change. We've done Change My Minds. We've done countless Change My Minds, billions of plays. And then we've also done debates on the show. It becomes harder and harder to do as people don't necessarily want to have these conversations across the aisle, unless, of course, you're talking about every single Twitter egg. But here's the thing. You need to recognize the difference between minds you can change and people who they're so bought into the lie, they have to propagate it. That's CNN. That's Caitlin Collins. And Donald Trump, for the first time that at least in recent memory, he's identifying the difference. He's identifying maybe people who have questions that aren't coming straight from the right in the town hall. He's identifying, okay, this is someone who maybe is open to what I have to say. This is someone who has ears to hear. She doesn't matter. Don't cater to the media, bypass them. You don't have to cater to them anymore. Right. This is a masterclass in bypassing gatekeepers.
To piggyback on that, would you say he's the first candidate in the history of this country that will actually benefit from how unfairly he's treated by the media? The harder they go, the more his ratings will jump, because Americans, no matter where they are, like fair play.
Yes.
And when they see a violation of fair play, they kind of instinct.
And you know what they really hate? They really hate being fooled. And I think with Donald Trump, they realize, you know what? We were fooled with a lot of this.
Propaganda.
And, I think that's a good point. I think he has a valuable tool at his disposal.
This is great for the country and what's fair for the country. But the fact that I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade after 50 years of trying, they worked for 50 years. I've never seen anything like it. They worked, and I was so honored to have done it. We are in a very good negotiating position right now, only because of what I was able to do. And remember this, again, you talk about radicalism. People that will kill a baby in the 9th month or the 8th month or the 7th month or after the baby is born, they're the radicals, not the pro-life.
I just want to give you...
Did the same thing with Antifa. Did the same thing with Antifa. Did the same thing with abortion. Brilliant. Let me hear what she has to say.
You did not answer whether or not you'd sign a federal abortion ban or how many weeks into pregnancy you believe abortion should be banned. Can you answer either of those tonight?
I've given you the answer probably 4
by the way,
times already.
They've never forced a Democrat to answer for when there is a limit to terminating pregnancy, because just to be clear, while we're talking about one thing that Donald Trump missed, while we're talking about the radicals, people say, oh, the extreme left, the extreme right, this is my left, your right, I have to do the stage terms. Here's the thing. Every single person who has run for the Democratic nomination in the last 2 elections has supported abortion up until and including birth as a matter of policy, period. No exceptions. Perhaps Tulsi Gabbard.
And other Republican presidents, and others, by the way, they wanted to get it out. They also wanted to bring it back to the states. But bringing it back to the states is a less important issue than the issue that we just talked about.
That's what Frank Stallone said. Take it back to the states. Take it back. By the trash can, he said.
Is that what he was singing about?
That's what he was singing about.
I didn't know that.
If that bell rings and I'm still standing, I always say.
So prophetic. I always say have the baby anyway.
In just a moment.
All right, really quickly, as they're about to go to a commercial break, we spared no expense, and I believe that we sent somewhere here, I want to make sure that I have this right, that he's set up and he's ready to go. Thomas Finnegan is actually, we have Thomas Finnegan. We sent him down to the town hall on the ground for the commercial break. Let's go to Orlando. All right, at the town hall, Mr. Finnegan, what do you got for us, sir?
Hi, Stephen. It doesn't look like things have kicked off yet, but I'm glad to be here early to catch all of the action as it unfolds.
Where are you?
I'm at the town hall, of course.
Yeah, but where are you?
I'm at the town hall in the Hamptons.
No, for the love of God, Thomas, you're supposed to be at the town hall in New Hampshire. It's politics. We're doing politics. Donald Trump presidential town hall in New Hampshire. Go there now. Go there. Go. quickly, we're going to go to, hold on a second, you have a fact check, I guess, but really quick, hold on, let me just say, Brian Callen will be in New Brunswick, New Jersey, May 11th through the 13th. If you are on Rumble right now, this is what keeps us going. Notice there aren't 20, 30, 40 live reads. If you're on Rumble, click that button right down there. We're going to continue doing a Mug Club exclusive, by the way, show after this show on CNN. It's $89 if you enter in Crowder Town Hall. Or go ahead. I have
$10 off on the discount code just for tonight.
Oh, sorry, that's right. $10 off, so $79.
$79. That doesn't
just for
say that
tonight,
on my
so make sure you do
Wonderful hand-etched mug.
All right, we've got. Can we get the an epic fact check? We got a couple here, so something that's a little bit more
live fact check for the Crowder Town Hall.
Give it to me. No. There you go. Give it to me. Yeah.
Tweet check. Fact Trump. Trump fact check. Tweet fact check. News.
There we go. All right. So, Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. The U.S. national debt will balloon by nearly $20 trillion over the next decade under the spending outlined by President Biden in his $6.9 trillion budget.
That's a lot of nuts.
But it's somebody else's money.
Yeah, well, no. If you put it over 10 years, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Also, mass shootings were lower under Donald Trump by almost half. I don't know why she was asking him questions about Biden's policies that have led to more mass shootings, because his mass shooting numbers were far lower. And also,
I can answer that because, excuse me, she's a lying whore. If I had to answer, I would never say that, by the way. I think she's very nice, but that's what people tell me.
You don't know my body count.
She lies and she's a whore.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
That's true.
Thank you. That's buying time. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
No, I think that summarizes some of the fact checks that we're working on right now. And by the way, I just want to add an answer to the abortion question. So my policy on abortion is no. Would you sign a federal? No, I don't want to sign a federal ban. I want that to be a state power issue, right? I want that to be in the state's hands, and I want the state's hand to be moved by the people to do the right thing.
Right.
That's what I want. I don't want federal overreach in stuff like this, even when I think it's something that benefits me.
Yep.
I want it to be in the hands of the state. I think Donald Trump should say that. He didn't. He said that was a less important issue. I disagree with that. I think states having the ability to decide this stuff is very important, because that's exactly what the Supreme Court struck down.
That's also what a republic is, right? That is what this country.
I have to go use the little boys' room. So let's really quickly. Let's check in really quickly, and then I'll be back. You guys can, and then you can go after me. Let's check in. We spared no expense. For the second time, do we have the cameras live at the Biden former Vice President Biden
yes, sir, we got it.
White House?
Yeah.
Okay, check in.
And if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
My butt needs wiped, man. Put it on backwards this time.
And if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
All right, bringing him back. By the way, Kate, you can't see it, but she's taken a lot of body blows here. This has been a little bit rough for Caitlin Collins. Thank you very much for that. All right, let's see what the questions
2020. Jennifer, what's your question tonight?
Good evening, Mr. President. Title 42 is expected to expire tomorrow.
Yep.
Our southern border and now our northern border are experiencing record migration.
I wonder why.
We learned on May 2nd that the Biden administration plans on deploying 1,500 troops to the southern border. Do you agree with deploying troops to the border, and how will a Trump administration slow down the rate of migrants coming across all our borders?
There's a lot of BS.
The troops.
A very fair question, especially since tomorrow
they're behind the
is gonna be a
scenes.
day
They're not on the
of
border.
infamy. You're going to have tens of thousands of people pouring into our country. Even the judge, the judge overruled them when they wanted to terminate it early. And he said, that you better extend this thing. The judge in Texas said, I hope you're going to extend this. But this is my policy that they're letting terminate because they lost in court. They wanted to go earlier. You're going to have millions of people pouring into our country right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before. These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country.
All right, we know his answer here. This is bad, right? So Biden already, just to give you some facts, Biden already has 2 times as many border encounters as Trump did during his entire time in office.
We should ask him to take the front door off his house.
We should absolutely do that, right? So currently over 5 million encounters. Trump's grand total for border encounters was 2.4 million. Also, Greg Abbott, let's bring up this tweet from him. I saw this earlier today, so great work, team. Pulling it. I had no idea. No idea he was in a wheelchair. I just thought he was really short.
Damn tree.
So Greg Abbott says, great work by Texas National Guard and Texas DPS. Biden sent 1,500 troops to the border to do paperwork. Texas deployed trained soldiers and troopers to take real action and respond to this crisis. So don't be fooled by 1,500 people going to the border to do paperwork behind the scenes.
They're doing
like you
administrative.
But let's hear. I do want to hear him a little bit because this is a strong issue for Donald Trump.
We have to build some more because there are areas like water going through a dam. There are some areas where a lot of people are coming. You close up one and they come into another. And we started another 100 miles of wall. In fact, I said to my people, if we start this and don't finish it, and then we had a rigged election, I'm sorry to say it.
The election was not rigged, Mr.
Drink. You got the horn there, Yakuza, or no? We got a horn?
Yeah, right here.
Drink your whole drink. We got to get a refill.
You got it.
Make mine Yingling, because I can't handle these Belgians.
They're high alcohol.
Look, a country has to have borders.
True.
There's never been anything like is happening to our country right now.
You built about 52 miles of new wall when you were in office, Mr.
Would've built
President.
more.
It wasn't the complete wall. One other thing that with
No, but I have to
immigration,
respond to that.
with your immigration,
Do it.
it was
Respond.
only about
Okay,
52
can I
miles
respond?
of new wall.
This is what she does.
Yeah.
I built
It's a
hundreds of
passive-aggressive
miles.
insult.
Some of the wall was up there, and it would be laying on the ground, rusted, rotten steel, rusted, rotten wood, a little. And what the radical left, crazy Democrats did, if there's a piece of wood laying down,
That's
they
a
consider
wall.
that a wall. I built 30-foot walls that go down 7 feet into the ground. If there was a little piece of wood sitting in the ground, they said, oh, he's not building a wall. We already had a wall. Because this is the game. They're a party of disinformation.
It's not a game, Mr. President. It's about 52 miles of new wall. One other immigration policy you
I
had
built
when you were in office.
I built new wall.
52 miles
for
according
hundreds
to
of miles.
CBP, Mr.
What I did is I
President.
replaced other wall that was laying down, that was up and rotting in the ground for 30 years. Some of it was steel that you couldn't even see.
Mr. President, it was only about 52 miles of new wall, but moving on, another immigration policy you had was the zero tolerance immigration policy that separated families at the border. If you are reelected, are you ruling out?
Oh, that is insane.
When you have that,
clear, and I don't. Thank you very much. And by the way, please send in your love for the team that's helped put this on here tonight. No, that's the Flores consent policy from 1997, which, by the way, said that you could not detain children for more than 20 days. Okay, this is why Barack Obama actually ended up starting to separate children with their parents, because he saw keeping children as a deterrent from people coming in over the border. The Flores consent policy, 1997, signed under Bill Clinton, was about children being detained at the border, just to be clear. And by the way, this is one thing that was a huge point of contention during the debate, was the who built the cages, Joe. Let's see what he has to say. She's full of
New
crap.
York City, the city is being swamped. Los Angeles is
Going
being
by rote,
swamped.
I'm pretty sure I'm right about 99% of it.
The whole country is being destroyed. Millions of people are coming into our country. And you know what the number is going to be, in my opinion, by the end of the year? Not the 4 million that you hear and the 3 million and 2. I think it's going to be 15 million people. And in these people, they have no idea where they come from. They come from 129 different countries so far. 120,
Mr.
not just the
President,
4 that we talked
Just to put a button on that, it sounds like what you're saying is that you're not ruling out re-implementing that immigration policy. I want to get to another voter. Caitlin Boissonneau is a
She
student
never
here.
just goes. She always has to get the last word in.
For sure. She's like,
nothing
yes.
like perpetuating a negative stereotype, white lady.
Hello, President Trump.
White
Thank you so
pantsuit,
much
white
for
lady.
coming.
Thank you.
The current administration has made it clear
she
that
has
we
a
should
crush on him.
continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Do you support this decision, and how would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir Putin?
First of all, thank you very much. It's really nice.
I would have never let it happen.
It's an important question, so important, because we're giving away so much equipment. We don't have ammunition for ourselves right now. We
Take
don't
it
have
from
ammunition
Afghanistan.
for ourselves. We're giving away so much. But here's the
Right.
thing.
Biden
I have
left
to
enough
say
of
it
it.
to start
No.
off. No longer matters. If I were president, this would have never happened. And even the Democrats admit that. Putin knew it would have never happened. And his pipeline would have never happened. A lot of things would have never happened. But this
Which
would never have
Democrats say
happened.
that,
And all
Mr.
those
President?
dead people, both
even
Russian
address it.
and
Socks right over
Ukrainian, they wouldn't be dead today. And all those cities that are blown up and disintegrated right to the ground, that wouldn't have happened. Okay.
You know
Now,
what I love that
here's
Donald
the
Trump does? What he does, because everyone knows here about everyone knows the Ukraine answer. So we have a little bit of a lull. I love that Donald Trump will answer with specificity tonight. Here's what he'll do. He'll answer with specificity. He'll disabuse people of a certain notion that the moderator or the conductor, whatever you want to call her, tries to instill in the audience. And then he drives it home with something unrelated, but also leaves a mark like, there was tons of dead wood and everywhere. This is what happened. I replaced it. They say 52. This is the game that they play. They didn't want to fund it. He'll go through it and then be like, termites! And then go back. And then people remember that.
That's right.
And he's very, very good at it.
It's called anchoring.
Yes, exactly. Use technical terminology.
I don't know any Democrats who have said
May
they don't
11th through
believe Putin
13th, New Brunswick, New Jersey.
But her question is, would you continue to give Ukraine money and weapons if you're elected? What's the answer?
I have a very good relationship with President Zelensky because, as you know, he backed me up with the phony impeachment hoax number one.
The perfect call.
He said, the president didn't do anything wrong. So
that was
I
when you
happen to
asked
like.
him for an
So I
investigation
happen
in
to like.
exchange
Yeah,
for
that's right.
weapons.
And I was totally exonerated, by the way. Just a waste of time.
It would be great if when they cut to that shot, he goes, "Don't side profile her. It's cruel. I'm helping you. It's not fair to her. Don't go to side profile, folks. That's mean."
But the question here is,
Missed a drink
would
on the
you give
impeachment
Ukraine
comment.
weapons and funding if you were
I would
elected?
sit down. Let me just put it a nicer way. If I'm
that's
president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
You hear what he just said?
Wow.
If I'm president, I'll have that war settled in one day. That's the answer.
Boom.
That's the answer. I'll solve the problem.
I've talked about this. Ukraine is a perfect example. He had 8 years of Obama, then he had 3 years of Donald Trump. One last year was engineered. Of course, that's the number they try to point to as far as what they try to point to as his failure for presidency is the engineered pandemic of COVID. And then you have another, after this, you'll have 4 years of Biden. There's a very stark contrast. Let's talk about international policy, because the idea is this guy is just such a loose cannon that we're less safe. Hey, what happened under Barack Obama? Something Crimea?
Oh, yeah, that's
something.
Kick this
Was
off.
it, is it pronounced Crimea?
Something Georgia?
Crimea.
Right? And then what happened under Donald? Oh, nothing. And then we had Ukraine afterwards. Because anyone who's been in a schoolyard knows that crazy beats big every time. You just have to be a little bit crazy.
That's right.
There's value in that.
Yeah.
Even Kim Jong was going like, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's gonna.
You forgot Syria. Underneath
That's right.
Obama. Remember the
Syria.
red line. This is the red line, and then they do it, and they're like, "Well, I mean the red."
And
line
it's
moved.
just like they can't.
It was in sand.
They can't stop.
Move it.
They can't stop getting it wrong. The things they try to attack him on, people like him, and then what they try and use as this sort of failsafe, like, yeah, but international policy, you need someone with an even temperament. He's proven them wrong through
100%.
3 years, and another 4.
The way they describe the world is not what we see in our everyday life.
Right.
It just doesn't. We're just like, what are they talking about?
They think that most Americans are going, come on, you better say yes, you're going to give money to Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah.
I just sound like Jim Brewer for some reason. Like,
You better say yes, it's going to give money to Ukraine. I don't know.
Ukraine. It's good.
Do you still respect him today?
He made a tremendous mistake. He was a smart guy. You know?
Putin.
I remember I said he was smart, she was smart.
What was his
he
mistake?
said President Xi of China, right, is smart. Okay, 1.5 billion people. He's the ruler of 1.5 billion people. I said, yeah, he's a smart guy. How dare he say he's smart? Of course he's smart. They want you to say he's a stupid person. Okay, he's not a stupid person. He's very smart. He's very cunning. And Putin made a bad mistake, in my opinion.
What was his mistake?
Let me ask you something really quickly, okay? And I'd like to see, maybe we can put, I guess we can't put this to a poll, but you can tweet me and you can use the hashtag #CreditorTownHall. Would you rather a world where Donald Trump starts with the presupposition that Putin and Xi Jinping are smart, or would you rather a world where former Vice President Joe Biden assumes they're dumb? In which world are you safer?
Good question.
Stop. Because if he's going to be a war criminal where people are going to go and grab him and execute him.
You know who was smart?
He's going to fight
Hitler.
Correct.
Doesn't mean I like him.
Right.
I think Einstein was an asshole. Doesn't mean he's dumb.
War settled. And I'm not talking about the money either. I'm talking about all the lives that are the number of people being killed in that war is far greater than you're hearing. When they blow up a city and those buildings come pouring down and then they say 2 people were injured, no. Hundreds and thousands of people are being killed, and we have to get that war settled.
We have more with former President Trump. Right after this, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with questions from voters.
Occasionally, we have commercial breaks, too.
We have a commercial break if you want to go.
No,
to.
but didn't we...
We have that. We got a new.
We got a new intern, right? With Title 42.
Yeah.
Ending, and I think we were a little preemptive. What you did, Gerald, as CEO, he's the new CEO.
Well,
might have been. It might have been illegal.
It was
is my point.
heart.
But we did want to. We have the new intern here. Yes.
Sí, ¿cómo estás?
And we just wanted to, sometimes we like to profile people, tell them your story. So did you came through? Was it the golden ticket sweepstakes?
Yeah. Was that it?
Pues sí, I get vaccination.
Yeah, we don't
know.
Yo tengo the vaccine.
Yeah, we don't care about the vaccine. I don't think anyone here is vaccinated. That's not a prerequisite.
Nope.
But
is that your resume that you sent? That's not a resume. That's a vaccination card.
See, it's right.
Vaccination card.
Oh, Lord.
No, but what is your experience? How did you get the internship? Right? People want to know.
Yeah.
I crossed the border and they say okay.
Yeah, that's not. That's not
how it works. I'm sorry. I may have made a mistake.
Yeah. Is this? We don't care about COVID. Can you do research? Can you do overlays?
Mow lawn? See?
Yeah, okay. Let's bring him back in. Let's bring him back in.
You know what?
Later.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Golden ticket sweepstakes, really.
No, that's
seems like a nice guy.
That's not my finest moment.
No, Gerald.
I'll do better.
You're a horrible CEO.
Well, most of the time. Guys, I'm gay.
All right. I think we do have
we do have a commercial break.
Okay, we have a brief commercial break, and we will be back after that. These gentlemen have to go to the bathroom.
I do.
And again, you can use the promo code Crider Town Hall at louderwithcrider.com/mugclub, or you can send your email of proof of any right-wing streaming subscription in the last year. You can send that email to freemugclub at louderwithcrider.com, and we'll give you 3 months free. If you don't like it, you can bounce. Try it. We think you'll buy it. We don't know. Let's go. I think we have a sponsor and a quick commercial break.
Hoodie, what are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm trying the new pudding from My Patriot Supply. I gotta admit, it's okay. It's not great.
Dude, you're not supposed to do it like that. You gotta put water in it, man. How much have you eaten?
All of them?
Oh my gosh, here, try that. That's better. Come on, it's instructions.
Oh, that's much better.
Of course it's much better, man. You know you're gonna have to buy some to replace that, right?
Right, I'll just go to prepwithcrowder.com and get a 3-month supply.
Perfect. You're probably gonna have to do that twice. Yakuza, what in the world are you doing down here? Are you serious right now?
Pancakes?
No, I'm fine, thank you. Where's a gag reflex when you need it?
Get ready for Now That's What I Call Trump. In this compilation, your favorite president makes these hits his own.
Don't go chasing GDP. The median income is a better metric.
And who can forget the Pete Buttigieg song?
Splish splash, they were taking a bath, and it was a couple of eggs.
Voted on by the attendees at the weekly White House talent show, this collection is sure to make you want to get up and dance.
Nikki, don't lose my number. Might replace pets with someone else. I might. I haven't decided. Support the police, because they work really, really hard. News. It's all fake news. B-I-G-C. That's how you spell Hillary. B-I-G-C. Synonym for Hillary. Welcome to the hole called California. There's a homeless face. Poop all over the place. Lots of poop.
Now that's what I call Trump.
Now that's what I call Trump. It's available on CD and cassette. Call 1-800-MAGA-2020 for deals.
Nothing.
So, how can I help you?
How about you? Doctor, my husband and I have tried everything to try and get pregnant. Do you have any suggestions?
I do have something that's worked in the past.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I think I feel something. Wow. Thank you, doctor.
You're very welcome. Every time.
Paid for by the greatest president in the history of the world. Side effects, frankly, may include being fantastic.
All right, let's quickly go to CNN. I think they're both standing up now, I think. So let's see what
I'm
they're
going to stop
saying.
you right there, though, because the Presidential Records Act, which
Are
is
they?
not well known to a lot of people,
They are
I've read
standing
it.
up.
It does not say that you can
Let's
take
change
documents with you. It says actually that they are the property of the federal
you talk,
government.
you
when
negotiate,
leave.
you make a deal. It's not criminal, by the
It
way.
does not-
It's
it
the
does not say
Presidential
you can
Records Act is
negotiate.
not criminal. And just so
It does
you
not
know,
say you can negotiate to
Just so
my
you-
gosh, shut
Can I
up.
tell you? Just so you understand, the Presidential Records Act is not criminal. I took the Documents
Did
I'm
he say,
allowed
excuse
to.
me?
You know who else took them? Obama took them.
Biden.
Nixon took them.
Obama did
Reagan
not take
took them.
documents.
Oh, he didn't?
The difference here that I'd like to
Standing.
Take a
The
look.
National Archives says that President Obama
Even
did
Jimmy
not
Carter,
take
even Mike
documents.
Pence had some documents, and he's a
You
very
referenced
honorable
Pence,
guy.
you referenced
But you know who
Biden.
took them more than anybody is Joe Biden. He has 1,800 boxes. And nobody even knows where they are.
That's a thug life moment.
Look at her face. Oh my gosh.
Guy on us, and they, in the
I think it's
meantime, they have
important, Mr.
nobody.
President, to actually set the record straight here.
Oh, you do?
They took documents, including President or Vice President Pence, when they realized they had documents, they turned them back over. The difference is that you waited to turn yours over, and it was a year and a half effort
Really?
that included a subpoena.
Excuse me.
Documents. One question about
It
what happened
included
when
a
you had
raid
those
on
documents.
my house. That's what it included.
Yeah.
They didn't raid.
You'd gotten a
they
subpoena
didn't raid
and they had not
Biden's
been
house.
turned over yet.
They didn't raid Biden's house. You know what happened? They put him in the house. That's the one with the Corvette, where the documents were laying all over the floor.
By the
That
way,
was fine.
fact check this. Donald Trump had them locked up in boxes labeled classified. Joe Biden had them next to his midlife crisis.
Correct.
The other thing, the vice president cannot declassify. He
It
doesn't
is a
have the right
crazy
to
double
declassify.
standard.
He has
It is
documents from
crazy.
when he was senator, and even Democrat senators say, I can't believe it. No, I went by the Presidential Records Act,
That's not
and
what
we
the
were
President
negotiating
Records Act
with NARA.
says. That's not what it says,
And
Mr.
NARA has
President.
red flagged a thing
Here's what
called
he
the
should do
Constitution.
once, though, Donald Trump. He should say, tell me what it says. Go ahead. Take your time. Do that. You do that, it'll end career.
Yep.
Is a special counsel investigating your document situation, also President Biden's document situation. When it comes to your documents, did you ever show those classified documents? Anyone?
Not really. I would have the right to. By the way, they were
What do you mean, not
declassified after.
really?
Not that I can think of. Let me just tell you. I have the absolute right to do whatever I want with them. I have the right. I was negotiating with NARA. You know what NARA is?
The National Archives.
Extremely,
But you don't
extremely
negotiate
left for people. Extremely left. And I was
look at that.
Extremely
Look
left.
at that RBF.
raided my house. They didn't raid the house of Joe Biden. They didn't raid Obama.
But Joe Biden didn't ignore a subpoena to get those documents back like
Joe
you
Biden
did. And so
took
that's the question.
1,850 boxes.
But that's the question that investigators have, I think, is why you held on to those documents.
By the way,
when you
live
knew
fact check.
the
Look at
federal
that.
government was
That's what
seeking them
Biden
and then
kept.
had given you a
God.
subpoena to return
Are you
them.
ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
You
the
mind?
answer?
Do you mind?
Watch
I
this.
would like for you to answer.
Insult to
Okay,
host drink.
it's very simple to
That's
answer.
why I asked it.
It's very simple. You're a nasty person. I'll tell you.
Drink again. Oh, my God. Hey, Ryan, you're not following the rules. Sorry.
Answer why you
Sorry.
why you
Finish
held
it.
on to the documents.
I was negotiating, and we were talking to NARA, that's Washington, to bring whatever they want. They can have whatever they want. When we left Washington, we had the boxes lined up on the sidewalk outside for everybody. People are
He
taking
loves to
pictures
fight.
of them.
He
Everybody
loves
knew we
this.
were taking those boxes. And the GSA, the government service, the GSA was the one taking them. They brought them down to Mar-a-Largo. We were negotiating with NARA. All of a sudden, they raid our house. When Biden had his documents, he won't give back the 1,850 boxes. And you're going to find some real gems in there.
It was Biden who alerted them that he had documents. The National Archives reached out to you to get your documents back. Why did you not turn them over when you got a subpoena asking for you to turn them over?
You're negotiating. It's fine.
With them
She's hanging in there. She's tough. She's hanging in there.
We were negotiating with NARA.
That's not what the Presidential Records Act says.
But they got to love our Constitution a little bit more, and they shouldn't red flag it, by the way. Very nice people. We were negotiating with NARA, and that's what the Presidential Records Act says.
Very nice people.
Richard Nixon, surprisingly, had problems, and he had a lot of problems dealing with NARA, and they ended up passing.
It's a historical moment.
Presidential Records Act, just for this kind of a thing. We were dealing with them. We were talking. Excuse me. Wait a minute.
Drink. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
We would have done it, but all of a sudden they raided the house. Now, why hasn't the FBI raided Biden?
I just explained to you why. No. It's because he's the one, they alerted the government that they had those documents and had them and get the documents from his house. The question for you, though, when it comes, do you still have any classified documents in your possession?
He's so mad.
Are you ready?
Do you?
You ready?
No, I don't have anything. I have no classified documents. And by the way, they become automatically declassified when I took them.
Yep.
But
no, you
why?
have to declassify
let me ask you a question. Why
Who gets
is it
to do that?
Biden
Who gets to do that?
9 boxes
the president
in Chinatown?
They're declassified if he chooses to say, "Hey, take a look at this."
Yep.
Why aren't people?
Mr. President,
Why aren't people bringing that up? And why don't they put this guy Jack Smith? His group of thugs. Why don't they put him in charge of that?
I need to stop you right there because there's no evidence of what you just said there. What you're referring to there is an office that he had after leaving the vice presidency. He had a temporary office. But I want to ask you about another investigation that you're facing.
You don't know the subject.
I do know the subject. That you're facing, which is the one that's happening in Georgia, where they are investigating your efforts to overturn the election result in the state of Georgia.
I did nothing wrong. It was a perfect phone call.
This is a great country. Because this is what this dissent, this
with the Secretary of State. Brad Raffensperger.
Yeah, sure.
Given the fact that there are indictments expected to come in that case this summer, is that a call you would make again today?
Indictment, drink.
Yeah, I called. In the election, I thought it was a rigged election. I thought it had a lot of problems. I had I guess he's Secretary of State. I called. Listen to this. There are like 7 lawyers in the call, many of them from there. We're having a call. We're having a normal call. Nobody said, oh, gee, he shouldn't have said that. Why? If this call was bad, I question the election.
You asked
if this
him to
call
find
was
you
bad,
votes.
No, that's not what he said.
Yeah.
We've heard the audio
if
tape.
this
Yes, and it's not what he
There's
said.
the audio of you asking him to find you.
You owe me votes because the election was rigged.
Exactly.
Election was
Context.
rigged. And if this call was bad, why didn't him and his lawyers hang out?
The place where the pipe burst and they took out these, sorry, not suitcases because we'll be fact-checked. The cases that look remarkably like carry-on suitcases with ballots.
Yes.
During the period of time where they said a pipe burst and there was no one in the building.
Allegedly.
We have.
They did. They did. Just in the middle of the night.
He said, "Come on, you know there was fraud."
Yes.
That's. That's the context.
I was questioning the election.
Votes, and I should note that there is no evidence
They're
of
like,
fraud.
cut the
There
feed.
is no rigged election in the state of Georgia. I want to get back to the audience, though, Mr. President, because those are false claims you're making about what happened in Georgia. Jordan Sullenberger is here. He's an undeclared voter from Hollis. He voted for you in 2020. Jordan, what is your question for President Trump tonight?
Voted twice.
Mr. Trump.
Thank you very much.
The bully from every 80s movie.
I help manage a private aviation company.
We crashed.
You want a job?
I'd love one, yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody very good.
No offense, but it sounds like government interference in private business. But I've seen Republicans going after us like DeSantis after Disney. What would you do as president to protect us from government interference?
Well, I'm the one that really wants to protect you. All of these fake investigations of me are about election interference.
Good job.
They think because I'm leading Biden by 11 points, 7 points, 9 points, I'm leading DeSanctimonious by a lot. By 40 points or 45 points. I think you ought to just relax and take it easy and think about the future, because right now his future is not looking so good. I will tell you this. We are really putting it to Biden. But he's putting it to himself.
I'm glad he focused on Biden.
Yes, he is the definition of a pressure fighter, though.
Yeah,
Donald Trump.
And by the way he got out of Afghanistan was the single most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
That is correct. And the media never talks about it.
Oh, let's see. Does she defend this?
While we're in front of the voters here in New Hampshire, this is a fundamental question for you. You're running in the 2024 race. If you are the Republican nominee and you are in that 2024 race, will you commit tonight to accepting the results of the 2024 election?
Yeah, if I think it's an honest election, absolutely, I would.
Yeah.
Will you commit to
You guys don't screw with
He
me.
won't give you an inch.
You want me to answer it again? And if I think it's an honest
Hey, did you ask Hillary
election,
Clinton
I would
that?
be
Did you ask
honored
Biden
to.
that? Did you start a committee
right now, we
along
are
with
so
Elizabeth
far-
Warren on election interference and election fraud? But back then you said it was Russia. Remember that? Every single Democrat refused to accept the results of the 2016 election. They didn't ask those questions.
accepting the results
Including Mr.
regardless
Kemp.
of
George, if it's an honest election, correct. I will.
Okay, so not committing to accepting the 2024 election results or acknowledging what happened in 2020. This is an important conversation with voters to hear and to have. Thank you to our audience and to our host.
I feel like we're bias watchers here.
Of course. For bias watchers, but I want to see what CNN's commentary is on after this, because they're going to have to run interference
That
for
was a
her.
bloodbath.
Yeah.
It was a bloodbath. She had no handle on it.
There we go. At least they
Yeah, look, he even pursed his lips. He's like, yeah, thank you.
It's,
It was like Bill Burr mocking someone. Did I do good? Yeah, you did great. Yeah, you only just ruined your career, right? Dude,
you'll be back.
You think you're going to be saved by your white pants? Shoot, God.
He looks so tired, and yet he's just as combative as ever.
Yeah.
Like not an inch does he give. And Anderson looks cross-eyed right now.
Oh, God.
First of the 2024 presidential campaign is now in the book.
He's going to be a dentist.
Homo. From Washington. It was an interesting night. Mr. Trump's first lie was told just seconds into the night with his false
boy, here we go.
That the 2020 election was, quote, a rigged election.
And by the way,
And
it's
the
only a
falsehoods kept
lie
coming
because
back.
CNN says so.
Right.
About the threat to Vice President Pence, about Pence's ability to overturn the election, about COVID, about the economy, and more. He called a black law enforcement officer a thug. He said people here in Washington, D.C. at Chinatown don't
You
speak.
try and make it a racial thing?
It's unbelievable.
He was the only person who killed someone on January 6th.
Other than the 5 people that you guys said.
Wow, he had to throw in that.
He called a black. He called a black man a thug who shot someone from how many yards away was it? Was it 30?
It's
Was it 30 yards away?
The black person? No.
The black officer.
5 feet.
But I mean, that's so unnecessary. That's exactly why CNN loses ratings.
I'm sorry. Ashley Babbitt is crawling through a window. He could have gone, boop.
That's right. I was going by what their initial claim was.
Yes,
That's right. It
Down
turns
the
out it was
hall, he was
just
right
a few,
next to her.
Yeah. That's
Like,
right.
come on.
That's right.
Jake referenced, Manhattan federal jury found him liable of sexually abusing.
You also
and
called that man
Fuck
gay.
you!
Carroll.
Fuck you! No one found him guilty of sexually abusing anyone. That right there, just so I don't know, this right there is a lie. That's a lie.
He wasn't
What
found.
Just said he was just found guilty of sexually abusing a woman. That's a lie. He didn't say. Sexually abused anyone. The jury didn't say he sexually abused
It was
anyone.
sexual battery.
This, okay, just to be clear, I will. It wasn't a Donald Trump quote. It was a Stalin quote initially. Anderson Cooper, this press is the enemy of the people. They flat out lie in order to try and re-engineer society. When Anderson Cooper, sorry, pardon my language, if you have kids watching, they shouldn't be up this late. Anyway, fuck that guy. He was found guilty of sexually abusing. Nope, that is a lie. And you either have to believe that Anderson Cooper is so dumb he doesn't know that it's a lie, or he is deliberately trying to run interference because his little friend, who he probably has cocktail hour with or wine down Wednesday parties with, just got her hat handed to her. That is a lie. It's not even close to the truth. It's not even close to the truth.
So sexual abuse is not the same as sexual battery then?
It's just battery and defamation.
Right.
Yes, I thought it was more the defamation thing, but really quickly, we did run the commercial for Prep with Crowder. I just wanted to make sure that we got that part.
Can you
there.
grab that for me, Brian? Grab that big case right there.
Big case.
Really quickly.
The big thing over to him. There's a great deal.
If you go to Prep with Crowder, we have a different discount code going on right now.
Yeah.
PrepWithCrowder.com, you get $200 of free emergency food kit.
It feels nutritious.
Survival gear.
Yes, free survival gear with the 3-month.
Can I open it?
Supply.
No.
Don't. Oh. We got, I think, 4 of those.
That's just that's a placeholder.
Yeah. How long will this last me?
That's where our intern stores his tobacco pouches.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is fermented for months.
Oh, God.
It's a dangerous place for that thing
but
to be
it
on
is
board.
Prep. PrepWithCrowder.com. Get $200 free of survival gear. They have the balls to sponsor the show. It's the only sponsor that we've run on this show, I think, for weeks, by the way, right now. So, you can go and buy these things like at Costco, but the truth is you get a better product, better price. Their stuff works. And you don't need to worry about some zombie apocalypse. I lived through the ice storm in Montreal. Where, I mean, I remember it was dozens, if not hundreds, eventually people died. You have the earthquakes that happen in California. Any natural disaster, you should have enough water for a couple of weeks. You should have some way to heat some food and have a couple months or 3 months of emergency food. Everyone should have it. You don't have to be some kind of a prepper. Let's see what
3 months in this
3 months.
Three months and $200 worth of survival gear.
Wow, feels nutritious.
A person who, from the time he was in the
Sauvignon Blanc.
Can I take this off my?
You can take it off now. Yes.
Deep
Apologize, Brent.
I mean, unless you need it there.
It's good on my lap.
intentionally to his supporters and plans to do that. And I don't really see anything that's changed
How
about Trump,
dare
frankly.
he?
I mean, between when he left the White House and today. So his aides can say what they want, but Trump is Trump.
Some things did change. The economy tanked, and Americans know it. So your guy, and yes, I mean your guy, is losing. Your guy is losing. You just said, think about that for a sec. You know, George St. Pierre used to do this where people would give him crap, where every opponent he would face, he was a fighter, and some people would talk trash, right? And George St. Pierre came at it with the idea of, you know, if I just say my opponent sucks, then that means I suck. So no matter who he would say, he's my most dangerous opponent, he's the best guy I fight, he's dangerous, and I have to plan for him. What they're saying right now is Donald Trump is so how bad must your guy suck?
Yeah.
If he's losing to him.
It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying that this guy is a liar. He's going to.
Well, Trump is the only guy who gets Biden elected, if that happens.
No.
No.
He's beating him by
Donald
7
Trump is
right
beating
now.
him by bigger numbers than DeSantis.
You think he beats him if there's an election today?
I do.
Yes.
100%.
I mean, assuming that it's a fair and honest election, which, you know, is anyone's
Which is
guess.
what Donald Trump said, basically saying, like, you're telling me.
By the way, they're going to January 6th.
Go ahead,
By the
go
way,
back to them real
I
quick.
told you they would say this. Many of them are great people. I said that they
boy.
would say it was a beautiful day. Watch them bring that up. Drink.
And it's really what voters who are not in that room think about it.
Look, he is who he is, and he is who he was.
They would vote for him.
Hold on, let me say this. Let me repeat. He is who he is. Better than you.
Yeah. 41-48. If held today, they would vote for him.
Stunning things to see, though, in the sad laughter when he was mocking E. Jean Carroll.
Really just
in the audience is the hold
Really
he has
just
on the Republican
offensive.
Party. And so welcome to the Trump paradox. CNN reached out to Republican undeclared voters in New Hampshire. That is a honest reflection of Republican beliefs in New Hampshire.
Which is how out of touch you are with
What did I tell you? Remember what I told you at the beginning of the show? Maybe we can bring it back up for Mug Club. I said they are going to fundamentally start with the presupposition, which is a lie. They are not going to acknowledge that all of the recent polls have not only Trump beating Biden, but beating him by a greater margin than Ron DeSantis. Wherever you line up, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
And they right now are calling it the Trump paradox. This is what they want. They want you to try and have a civil war within the Republican Party where you go, oh, maybe I want Trump, but DeSantis is more electable. Here's the beauty right now. You can vote for, and I don't care who it is, vote in the primary for who you want to be president. Because right now, either one wins Donald Trump by a slightly wider margin than Ron DeSantis. I told you they wouldn't acknowledge it because they want to try and act, why? Like the MAGA Republicans. They want to try and paint the Donald Trump voters as so extreme that they should be separated off, right? Sort of pulling like a patriot with Mel Gibson. Pick off the commanders first. Pick off this very strong faction. The faction, by the way, that would vote for him over DeSantis by double digits. They want to paint them as MAGA extremists. So it's the Trump paradox. The Trump paradox is he's beating your guy, period, full stop, and by a little bit more than DeSantis. There's no paradox.
But their idea is to get Republicans who are moderate to say, you know what, maybe it's not worth more of this.